When I was 10, I locked a creature in the cellar, fed it chains and gave it teeth. It spoke in shattered glass and bruises, and promises that scared me underneath. It lived inside the blackened moments, flipped over desks and bloodied hands, in every thought too dark to speak of, in every rage I couldn't understand. I swore it wasn't really me there, standing in the smoke and ash, so I called it something darker and hid my own face behind the mask. At 12, a brother came to find me, quiet eyes and steady hands, blunt as stone and twice as stubborn, older than he should have been. He stepped forward when I was frightened, took the wheel when days turned rough, spoke the truths nobody else would. When being honest had to be enough, he carried all the weight I couldn't, stood his ground when I would bend. I never knew I built him from myself, because I needed someone then. There was one who lived in notebooks, blackened pages, ink-stained hands. He turned his wounds into stories no one else could understand. He wore silence like a leather jacket, kept his trust behind locked gates, found beauty buried in the darkness, and gave his sorrow different shapes. He spoke through poems and crooked sketches, through midnight thoughts he never shared. A troubled soul behind a hard stare, with a gentle heart he kept repaired. I swore that he was someone different, too angry, lost, and torn to be me. So I gave him another name to carry, and let him hold what hurt too deeply. 100 names hanging from the ceiling, 100 masks upon the wall, each one holding pieces of me. While I was scared to hold them all, I built a house full of strangers, filled every room with someone else. A demon, a brother, a child still laughing, pieces arranged on separate shelves. Thought I was searching for the answer, thought I was finding who I'd be. But every door I opened slowly led right back to me. There was one who sat beside the window, watching worlds that others couldn't see, speaking rarely. But when he did, his words weighed more than years should be. He rocked with every passing heartbeat, found patterns hidden in the rain, found comfort in familiar rhythms. When life felt sharp and hard to name, I swore that he was someone different, too strange, too honest to be me. So I gave him his own story, and let him carry what I couldn't see. There was one who dropped the performance when nobody else was around, who laughed too loud and loved too openly, and never hid what he had found. He wore the parts I feared to show them, the pieces I kept locked away. So I called him someone else's name, and let him live where I was afraid. Nobody taught me how to be whole, when being whole didn't feel safe. So I divided all my colors, and gave each shade another name. The rage, the grief, the hidden dreamer, the wisdom sitting quietly still, the child, the brother. Every fragment were carrying my will. The artist, drawing in the shadows, the poet writing through the ache. The parts I thought were strangers to me were choices survival had to make. They weren't ghosts inside my shadow, they weren't strangers passing through. They were rooms I built for pieces that the world wouldn't let me keep in view. I built a house full of strangers until the walls began to fall, and every voice I'd kept divided was never separate after all. The brother stayed, the child stayed laughing, the watcher still sees what others miss, the dreamer still writes in the darkness. The creature finally found his peace in this. I spent years trying to sort myself into boxes I could understand, never knowing every scattered piece belonged within the same two hands. Now I walk these halls unguarded, no costumes hanging by the door, just one heart carrying every chapter and needing masks no more. I thought I had to become someone else to survive what I was living through. But all those names I carried were just different ways of being me.